A young woman named Changyu lives a hard life as a butcher, working to support herself and her little sister, Fen Changning, after their parents were killed in a bandit attack. The villagers whisper that she brings bad luck, but she never lets it get to her. She is bold enough to dump a bucket of water over a nasty old woman who keeps spreading rumors about her. Everything changes when she finds a man half buried in the snow, weak and covered in wounds. She is afraid at first, but her late mother's hairpin slips loose like a sign, so she drags him home. With help from her neighbor Uncle Zhao, who knows some medicine, the man slowly recovers. Saving him is only the start of her problems. Her former fiancé, Song Yan, has grown arrogant after passing his scholar exams and wants to break off their engagement. In front of the whole crowd, Changyu reveals that his entire education was paid for by the Fen family, and she refuses to hand over the engagement letter until every coin is repaid. Back home, the man wakes up and calls himself a refugee named Yan Zheng. In truth, he is a nobleman in disguise. To pay for his treatment, Changyu pawns her mother's hairpin and works even harder to keep them both fed. Watching how genuine she is, Yan Zheng is quietly moved. Then the military sweeps through, hunting unregistered refugees to ship to the front lines. Changyu hides Yan Zheng in the pig pen and risks her life standing up to the soldiers. Once the danger passes, the man who had been so suspicious finally accepts that she is truly kind, with no hidden agenda. He never would have guessed the sweet girl who saved him is a pig butcher, and he is not used to a diet of organ meat, but given his state, he is thankful for every bite. At the market, Changyu reopens the Fen family butcher shop. Trouble arrives when her uncle on her father's side shows up with thugs to seize the deed to her house and cover his gambling debts. She fights them off using martial arts she has kept hidden for years. Even Yan Zheng, still far from healed, secretly hurls a piece of wood skilled enough to knock a man down. The mess is settled when a man named Chuan Xian steps in to handle the debt collectors. The dispute is not over. By law, since there is no male heir, Changyu has to enter a metrolocal marriage to keep her parents home. Otherwise, the house passes to her uncle, the last male relative in the Fen family. The uncle and Aunt Zhao suggest she simply marry Yan Zheng. Changyu is willing but refuses to force him. Yan Zheng, understanding the situation, agrees on his own. She promises that once the house is safe, he is free to leave or stay, whichever he wants. Their unlikely journey begins here. This is Pursuit of Jade. That night, Yan Zheng asks why she went to all this trouble for a burden like him. Being too honest, she blurts out that it is because he is handsome, then gets flustered. The real reason runs deeper, tied to a strong feeling about her late mother. Around this time, news spreads that a man named Xie Zheng has died. Nobody mourns him, since the Marquis was known for his cruelty. Changyu, who believes even the worst reputation hides some good, quietly leaves an offering for him, never realizing Xie Zheng and Yan Zheng are the same man. While she is at the government office sorting out new papers, thugs sneak in to steal the deed. Yan Zheng holds them off alone until neighbors arrive, but the effort reopens his wounds. Changyu is touched, though she grows suspicious, because his scars are unlike anything an ordinary man would carry. He claims he was a caravan guard, which she accepts, since her own father was a former guard covered in scars too. When she learns Yan Zheng writes beautifully and knows the law inside out, her admiration grows, and her old opinion of her ex-fiancé flips completely. When Song Yan comes crawling back, Changyu turns him down flat. Yan Zheng tosses him aside like garbage, and Changyu introduces Yan Zheng as her husband and kisses him on the cheek. He kisses her back, leaving Song Yan heartbroken. A few days later, the two are officially married in a traditional ceremony. Yan Zheng feels no shame in his position as a married-in husband, which actually gives Changyu the higher standing in the household. As a humble noble, he does not care about rank or recognition. In secret, Yan Zheng keeps in touch with his intelligence network through letters and a hawk, tracking the political situation from Linen City where he is stationed. On the wedding night, the uncle and aunt suspect the marriage is fake, so the couple casts cozy shadows against the window to fool them. It is all pretend, yet neither of them can ignore the spark. As a husband, Yanjung hands everything over to his wife. He earns money writing a cheap little novel, but cheap by his standards is enough to support the family for a year. Meanwhile, Changyu learns her pawned hairpin is gone, already redeemed by someone else, and it was her only keepsake from her mother. She finally cuts ties with the Song family. When Song Yan's bride-to-be, the daughter of the local magistrate, comes to pay off his debt, she is unbearably smug, but even when she offers more money, Changyu only takes what she is owed. To comfort her, Yanjung gives her a gift, the very hairpin that vanished from the pawnshop. He was the one who quietly redeemed it. When he tries to hand over the rest of his earnings, she gently refuses, feeling she has no right to it in a fake marriage. One day, Yanjung notices Changyu's fighting style closely resembles the legendary technique of a certain palace general. When he learns she got it from her late father, he suspects the man was no ordinary person hiding a big secret. The head of the debt collectors, Jin Yuanbao, and his gang accidentally wreck Changyu's stall. Terrified, they beg for mercy and end up helping her sell meat all day. It comes out that each of them had troubles that pushed them into needing quick money, which is how they became thugs. Feeling sorry for them, Changyu pays them a fair wage and feeds them, quietly turning them toward a better path. The house dispute finally heads to court, and since Changyu is married, victory looks certain. But then her uncle is found dead, and she is accused of the murder. As the case unfolds, a mysterious group is clearly targeting the Fen family. While Changyu sits in prison, Yanjung takes Changning into the forest to escape the group whose numbers keep growing. Chuanxian, close to the family, frees Changyu, repaying kindness her parents once showed him. Changyu rushes to find her sister and husband. She hears Changning's emergency whistle and arrives just in time. Yanjung urges her to run, but she only gets her sister to safety before returning to fight alongside him. When it ends, the last enemy they capture takes his own life to protect a secret. After a long stretch unconscious, Yanjung wakes to find Changyu nursing him back to health. Piecing the evidence together, he realizes the mysterious group belongs to his own uncle, the man who once nearly had him killed. But why are they after the Fen family too? That question cracks open a far bigger conspiracy that somehow involves Changyu. At the trial, Changyu is cleared once the truth comes out. Her uncle died because the mysterious group attacked the Fen family. But now Yanjung faces charges for those deaths because the magistrate needs someone to blame. Yanjung stays calm, knowing his own contacts will arrive that day. His man appears, has a word with the magistrate, and the matter is resolved. The contact is Sun Yin, the right-hand man and military advisor to Xie Zheng, posing as a scholar. Neither bothers with a disguise, since ordinary people do not know their faces. At their next meeting, it comes out that Yanjung is investigating the Jinzhou tragedy from 17 years ago, a disaster that killed hundreds of thousands, including his own father. Prime Minister Wei Yan, Yanjung's uncle, is the prime suspect, and he keeps sending soldiers to wipe Yanjung out and bury the truth. Back home, Sun Yin's presence makes Changyu realize her husband has private business and will leave soon. When she finds a farewell letter, she breaks down. But Yanjung appears, because he only stepped out to help a neighbor, and the letter belonged to Sun Yin. Her tears turn to a flustered smile in an instant. One day, Changyu meets the owner of Yihang, a grand restaurant in Linan City, a beautiful woman known as Madame Yu. Madame Yu proposes a partnership around Changyu's pork dishes, and the generous offer is an easy yes. Aunt Zhao pushes Changyu to share a bed with her husband to sell the marriage. With everyone watching, the two fake their affection again, this time throwing themselves into it far more. The moment shatters when mysterious soldiers storm the house. Yanjung fights them off inside while Changyu lures some out, where she runs into an official named Huai'an who comes to her aid. He is the same man who once gave her a carriage ride in the forest. Once every soldier is dealt with, Yanjung collapses from exhaustion. Huai'an is stunned to realize Changyu's husband is Xie Zheng, the man reported dead. He had come to Linan to verify those death rumors for his superior. Even so, Huai'an keeps the cover intact and posts men to guard the area. When their identities come out between them, Yanjung and Huai'an face off. They stand on opposite sides politically but both walk an honest path. Sensing Huayan has feelings for Changyu, Yanzheng warns him to keep his distance. Changyu shares more tender moments with Yanzheng, and her feelings grow along with her fear of losing him. Then she is attacked by kidnappers meaning to capture and sell her, a plot by a jealous business rival. The plan fails and the culprits are caught. While Changyu lies weak from a poisonous powder, Yanzheng beats the culprit without mercy. The first time in his life, he acts on pure rage. Only when Changyu opens her eyes does his fury cool. Yanzheng never cared for romance and once swore never to marry, but Changyu is his one exception. He loves her, yet he cannot promise a future, and that uncertainty becomes a new poison, a crack that threatens everything they have built. Meanwhile, Madame Yu comes face to face with a man from her past, someone dangerously obsessed with her named Yuan Hai. She hesitates because the Yuan Hai she remembers had a scar across his face. Yuan Hai is overjoyed to reunite with her after 6 years of searching, but his love was never nurtured properly. Since arriving in Linan, he has ordered his men to eliminate anyone who ever hurt her. His intentions may be good, but his methods are cruel. Soon it comes out that Madame Yu has a son named Baoer, kept in hiding. Changning meets Baoer while helping her sister sell at Yihang, and the two become fast friends. When both children go missing, Madame Yu panics, sure Yuan Hai took her son, but he had only fallen asleep in a chest alongside Changning. Terrified her son could become a target, Madame Yu borrows Yanzheng to pose as her husband and drive Yuan Hai away. As it happens, Yanzheng is already investigating Yuan Hai, who is suspected of hoarding rice and creating a food crisis in the northwest. After the confrontation, Yuan Hai leaves, not out of fear, but because he recognizes Yanzheng's true identity. Behind his obsession, Yuan Hai has a grand scheme to throw the country into chaos by turning the nobles against each other. Rather than making an enemy of Yanzheng, he wants to use him. Yanzheng, in turn, knows Yuan Hai is the eldest son of Prince Changxin, who is rumored to be planning a coup. For now, Yanzheng can only gather clues before returning to the capital as himself. Things stay quiet for a while. Linan celebrates the Lunar New Year with fireworks. On New Year's Eve, with Changyu thoroughly drunk, Yanzheng tries to steal a kiss, but Changning shows up and ruins it. At the Lantern Festival, Sun Yin gives them a painted portrait of Yanzheng, Changyu, and Changning as one family, which deeply moves Changyu, since it is the family she has longed for. At that meeting, Sun Yin also brings bad news that the palace is falling into chaos and urges Yanzheng home. Yanzheng refuses, at least until he can celebrate Changyu's birthday a few days later. But before that day, Linan erupts. Absurd taxes crush the people, made worse by Yuan Hai hoarding hundreds of thousands of tons of rice. At the same time, Yuan Hai starts hunting for Baoer after learning the boy is his own son, which is exactly why Madame Yu has always been so protective. The situation worsens when Madame Yu is framed for poisoning a customer and thrown in prison, a scheme to let Yuan Hai capture her again. After getting Baoer to safety, Changyu steps in to investigate. Yanzheng tries to stop her but has no explanation she can accept while still in disguise. Mid-investigation, Changyu crosses paths with Yuan King, the second son of Prince Changxin. The brothers, Yuan Hai and Yuan King, are working together to seize Linan after plunging the people into crisis. Changyu goes undercover as a servant and takes Yuan King hostage, leaving him captivated by her martial skill. But then enemy soldiers attack, marking the start of the rebellion. Changyu nearly falls from the fortress wall when Yuan King grabs her, right before Yanzheng appears in a mask and cloak to save her. When Yuan King flees, Yanzheng chases him to a cliff, but an arrow shatters his mask, exposing his identity as Jiezheng in front of Yuan King. Knowing he cannot win, Yuan King leaps into the ravine just as Yanzheng fires a final arrow. Elsewhere, Huayan's forces seize the hoarded rice and distribute it to the people, ending the food crisis. The operation succeeded thanks to Yanzheng's intelligence, proving that even on opposite sides when it comes to the people, the two can stand together. Madame Yu is freed from prison. The scheme by Yuan Hai and Yuan King collapses, infuriating their father, Prince Changxin, whose coup is now stalled. While tending Changyu's wounds from her clash with Yuan King, Yanzheng is stunned to hear she has already packed supplies for him, including a divorce paper that only needs his signature. She knows he has private matters and does not want to hold him back, figuring his freedom lets him leave without a burden. But to Yanzheng, the paper feels like a gentle way of letting him go. Misreading it, he bitterly offers to find her a new husband. Feeling toyed with, Changyu fires back by describing her ideal man: gentle, cheerful, and nothing like the cold Yanzheng. At the peak of that tangled jealousy, Yanzheng silences her with a forceful kiss, a mark of possession born from the fear of losing her. He begs her to wait one more year because he is heading into a life-or-death battle against his enemy. But she does not know what he truly faces, and she refuses to wait with no certainty. That night, Changyu leaves him standing in the falling snow, a bitter irony, since it was in the snow that she first found him. The next morning she discovers a farewell letter, money, and her birthday gift, a pair of leather handguards Yanzheng made so she would never hurt her hands at work again. The moment she puts them on, she weeps uncontrollably. The loss she had been denying finally becomes real. Meanwhile, Yanzheng and his troops travel the long road back to the capital, where the government is ruled by Prime Minister Wei Yan. The emperor on the throne is young, inexperienced, timid, and entirely under his thumb. Grand Tutor Li Xing, Huayan's grandfather, tries to check Wei Yan's dominance, but can hardly do a thing. Prince Changxin exploits the power struggle between these factions to launch his coup, though troops have already been sent northwest to hold him back. Wei Yan then enacts a policy to send common folk to the battlefield, and Uncle Zhao and Yuan Bao's gang are shipped to the front lines. Wei Yan is ruthless, brutal, and cold. To him, sacrificing the people to guard the borders is a fair price. His family life is broken, and even his wife calls him master. His son, Wei Xuan, has spent his whole life chasing his father's approval and never gets it, only causing trouble, so Wei Yan favors his nephew instead, even though they walk different paths. In the past, Yanzheng grew up surrounded by love. His mother was Wei Yan's beloved younger sister, who married a man from the Xi clan, which is where the name Zhejiang comes from. From his uncle, Zhejiang learned law, martial arts, and military affairs. Then his father went to accompany Crown Prince Changde to the border. They were surrounded, cut off from supplies, and slaughtered. No one survived, and the event became known as the Jinzhou tragedy. Wei Yan, tasked with sending reinforcements, abandoned his duty for personal reasons, leading to the Crown Prince's death. He then overthrew the former emperor and installed a puppet ruler. Zhejiang's mother, unable to bear it, took her own life, leaving her son with a burning question about what truly happened. More than a decade later, Zhejiang built his own power base and dug for the truth. After nearly dying and being saved by Changyu, all the evidence pointed to Wei Yan. Now Zhejiang takes command again, heading for the border to crush Changxin's rebels before facing his uncle in the capital. Back in Linan, Changyu believes her husband was seized by the military and sent to the battlefield, and even though she tried to set him free herself, the sadness lingers. When Madame Yu decides to close her business and move away, she invites Changyu along, but Changyu declines, since she still has family who might return for her. After leaping from the cliff, Yuan King is rescued by Niang, a tough female bandit leader. In a test of strength, he beats her with one hand. Then confidently kisses her, and she falls for him at first sight. Yuan Hai's forces capture Madame Yu and Bao Er as they try to leave Linan. Yuan King hires Niang's bandits and reunites with his brother in Linan. He cares deeply for his brother and shares the ambition to topple the government. But this return is not only about politics. He wants revenge on Changyu for humiliating him. While the bandits ransack the city, Yuan King kills anyone who refuses to reveal Changyu's whereabouts, including the magistrate's daughter, Songyan's bride, whose father is murdered. Songyan's mother gives up the location of Changyu's house and is killed anyway, which becomes her karma. The military cannot resist, busy holding back Prince Changxin's forces in the northwest. When Yuan King nearly finds Aunt Zhao and the villagers hiding in the cellar, Changyu charges him and knocks him out, then lures the bandits into chasing her. Changning, who has asthma, hides elsewhere to keep her breathing steady, and after going missing she is saved by the old gossiping woman who used to spread rumors about Changyu. In her final moments, the old woman fights off the remaining bandits so her grandchild and Changning can survive. On the road, Changyu freezes at the sight of her ruined hometown. Filled with rage, she finishes off the bandits still chasing her before continuing. Eventually, she is cornered, and Yuan King, conscious again, demands she surrender. Rather than be captured, Changyu gambles her life on fate and leaps from a cliff. Far away, Zhejiang panics when his hawk returns from Linan with a wounded wing. He marches his troops to the city and wipes out the remaining bandits to their final stronghold. His hawk then tracks Changyu's blue hair ribbon, and he finds her in critical condition on a cliff slope. She is carried to the nearest home, where a blind old woman diagnoses an ailment the villagers call evil wind, in modern terms a cold wind attack, requiring scraping therapy. With no woman around, Zhejiang claims to be her husband so he can treat her himself, opening her robe while holding her close. He watches her pale face with eyes dimmed by fear, and when she mutters all night in her sleep, dreaming of her parents, he stays by her side. When she wakes, Changyu assumes she is in an enemy base and flees with the blind old woman. The handguards Zhejiang made tumble into the ravine, and she nearly falls trying to retrieve them, but he appears in his mask to save her. When he asks how important the item is, she only says it was a gift from a friend. Heartbroken, Zhejiang lets her go, and she meets up with Huaiyan and returns to Linan. Changyu weeps at her ruined hometown. Chuanxian and many neighbors are gone, and her aunt and grandfather on her father's side did not survive. Aunt Zhao made it, but Changning is missing. After burying the villagers, Changyu resolves to find her sister and dig into her father's past. Because before the attack, her grandfather revealed that her father was not his real son, only a newcomer who sought protection by posing as his child. Meanwhile, Changning has been captured and watched over by Niang, who still has a shred of humanity. But Niang is forced to hand her to Yuan King after learning her own brother died because of Changyu, and Yuan King asks her to avenge him. 1 month after the Linan tragedy, Changyu becomes a living legend nicknamed the Beautiful Butcher, saving children from criminal syndicates with her cleaver. When she meets Huaiyan again, he helps her examine old records of her father's death. The documents claim her father, Fan Ernyu, died in a bandit attack, but Changyu is sure that is not the real story. Huaiyan briefly hopes to grow closer to her after spotting her unsigned divorce paper, but over time he realizes his love is one-sided and tries to accept it. Elsewhere, Zhejiang meets his mentor and general, Jing Yuan. Though Wei Yan outranks him, Jing Yuan sides with Zhejiang. He is known for wisdom and insight, which is why Huaiyan studies under him too, and it is how Zhejiang and Huaiyan can cooperate despite different politics. At this meeting, Jing Yuan reveals he knew Changyu's father as a comrade long ago, but the full story ties into a massive conspiracy he cannot yet tell. Madame Yu is forced to stay by Yuan Hai's side, while Baoer is made to study and indoctrinated to believe his father is a hero, which only traumatizes the boy. On her journey to find her sister, Changyu runs into rebels fleeing the military and is accused of being one of them, then dragged to a mine for forced labor while her identity is verified. There she befriends Grand Tutor Tao, a learned man also stuck there by mistake, and reunites with Yuan Bao and his friends. That night, she shares the grim news from Linan, and Yuan Bao's group is shocked their families were among the victims. She promises to bring them home once she finds her sister and makes Yuan King pay, and they swear their loyalty to her. After seeing a painting of Changyu and Zhejiang, Yuan King wrongly believes the captive Changning is their daughter. At the family estate, Changning reunites with Baoer, who is nearly driven mad by his father's teachings. Thanks to a kind servant, Yuan Hai lets his son play with Changning, and Madame Yu seizes the moment, telling the children to fake happiness so their enemies lower their guard, while they wait for a chance to escape. Family drama surrounds Yuan Hai, unacknowledged by his father, weak and sickly, while Prince Changxin favors his second son for a certain reason. Even so, Yuan Hai does his best to help his father overthrow the government. Word that Changning is in enemy hands reaches Zhejiang, and Yuan King demands an entire region as ransom, but Zhejiang does not trust him and orders a confrontation instead. Hauling stone is no obstacle for Changyu, who lifts pigs every day, and her impressive work lets her treat her friends to meat. Grand Tutor Tao is delighted to know her, big-hearted despite lacking book learning. Then Changyu realizes she and the other workers are in the middle of a dam project. Tao, a former high-ranking official, recognizes it as a war strategy to wipe out the enemy. Seeing the military's plan to break the dam is flawed, he offers advice to make the flood effective while reducing casualties. Though cruel, Tao believes ending the war quickly is far better than long-term suffering. The military holds a lottery to decide who goes to the battlefield and who stays at the dam. People assume staying is safer, but in truth, those at the dam will be swept away by the flood along with the enemy. Grand Tutor Tao swaps his ticket with Changyu, so she stays behind, and the others accuse him of cowardice for sending her to fight, not knowing his real motive. Yuan Bao and his friends follow her because of their oath, while Tao and the military commander brace to meet their end. On another front, Zhejiang serves as live bait to lure the rebels into a trap, with the added task of rescuing Changning. Meanwhile, Bao'er is taken by the kind servant to escape, but the servant is caught by Yuan Hai. The servant's own son slips away with Bao'er and keeps running, while the locked-up Madame Yu can only trust her son to survive. Learning that Tao sacrificed himself, Changyu recklessly heads back to the dam to save him. An attack breaks out, and 3 infiltrators escape carrying secret information about the dam. Tao, standing in for the fallen commander, sends Changyu to hunt them down before the information reaches the enemy. Meanwhile, Yuan King brings Changning to the battlefield to rattle Zhejiang, but casts her aside once he learns she is not his child. Zhejiang secures her before dueling Yuan King, who is defeated and captured. Changyu defeats the infiltrators, the dam is blown as planned, sweeping away the last rebels, and Tao survives. Yuan Hai rushes to save Madame Yu when the flood slams into his residence. She cannot escape, bound in chains, and he struggles to free her. The moment recalls the past. Back then, Yuan Hai was feared for his ruined face, forced to wear a mask, unloved, until he nearly drowned, and Madame Yu saved him. Unlike other women, she was warm and unafraid of his face. He felt he had found true love, but it twisted into a destructive obsession. After giving birth, Madame Yu realized her husband was dangerous, unstable, and caught in a huge political conspiracy, so she fled to start a new life in Linan. Tao, Changyu, and their friends, all part of the dam mission, are brought to the logistics division. They refuse any reward and introduce themselves as the pig butcher unit from the northwest. Word reaches Zhejiang at the mountaintop, but he is a little oblivious and shows no interest in meeting them. Changyu reunites with Uncle Zhao, who was never sent to the front lines, since Zhejiang quietly arranged it as repayment. Without knowing his wife is in logistics, Zhejiang sends a message as Yanzheng that Changning is found and safe, which fills Changyu with relief. But the mountain where Zhejiang watches the enemy faces a crisis of dwindling food and medicine. Changyu volunteers to escort supplies up, and knowing the danger, Tao proudly acknowledges her as his student. During the climb, she saves a female physician nearly shot who turns out to be Princess Qishu in disguise. Rather than being glad, Zhejiang scolds her that a battlefield is no place to play. Qishu came not only to lend her medical skills, but to get closer to the man she adores, Sun Yin. She is free-spirited and daring, while Sun Yin is calm and calculating and often in danger. Out of concern, he keeps telling her to stay away, but that only makes her more determined. At the summit, Changyu reunites with Changning, watched over by Sun Yin in disguise. Changning mentions her brother-in-law is here and injured. Changyu asks every soldier about Yanzheng, but no one knows the name. Only when she enters the main tent to deliver medicine does she freeze, seeing her husband, and they embrace. After befriending Changyu without knowing she is a princess, Qishu realizes the husband Changyu keeps mentioning is Zhejiang, but stays quiet. She then acts cold and distant toward the elusive Sun Yin, and this push and pull slowly makes him feel her absence and awaken to his true feelings. After many close calls, Changyu finds the courage to admit she does not want to lose Zhejiang. Still, he cannot reveal his true identity, afraid she will leave him because their worlds are so different. When she learns Yuan King is held in a cave prison, she nearly kills him in the heat of the moment, then gets a wild idea. The enemy at the base of the mountain taunts Zhejiang's starving troops by roasting lamb, so Changyu and her friends drag Yuan King out, beat him, and threaten to strip his clothes off. Unwilling to let their young master lose his dignity, the rebels send meat to Zhejiang's troops in exchange for Yuan King's safety. The day of battle arrives. To protect her husband, Changyu drugs Zhejiang so he passes out and stays off the front lines, even though he is the key to winning. She entrusts him to Changning and disguises herself as a soldier to take his place. His men are at a loss but have no choice but to begin without their leader. Yuan Bao and his friends fight bravely at her side, and in a battlefield of fire and blood, Changyu becomes the star. She faces a hulking enemy commander who looks down on her, struggles at first, then defeats him with a stunning butcher's technique to end the battle. Meanwhile, Zhejiang forces himself up and follows to the battlefield. When everyone cheers and chants his name, Changyu is stunned, her body going limp. She learns her husband is a deeply respected battle commander, but instead of being happy, she feels utterly deceived. She tries to run, and he pulls her onto his horse and carries her off. Beneath the trees, she lets her anger pour out. Zhejiang confesses he was never afraid of death, but after meeting her, he wants to live longer and grow old with her. She does not budge and walks away after striking him. Yet when a friend nearly dies on the battlefield, Changyu begins to understand his fear of death, and that his lies were not meant to belittle her but to protect her, just like drugging her to keep her out of the fight. That night they meet by the river and share the heartache of the war. Zhejiang tells her that once the war ends, he will ask to be stationed near Linan so he can live with her, because his time with her has been the happiest of his life. She is overjoyed, and they return to how they once were. Zhejiang visits Grand Tutor Tao, who was once his teacher too, and tells him about Changyu. Tao recognizes a great obstacle between them and offers a solution: to make Changyu his adopted daughter, giving her a family background with real influence. She accepts once she understands it is support, not an insult to her origins. In the final battle, Yuan King is rescued by his men, but the death of their commander leaves Prince Changxin in deep grief, and Yuan Hai is blamed for the failed war and given one last chance. In an unexpected turn, Yuan Hai secretly plots to kill both Prince Changxin and Yuan King. Meanwhile, Bao Er and Yuan Hai's former servant seek Zhejiang's protection, and the servant reveals a huge secret. Yuan Hai is not Prince Changxin's son at all. His real identity is Qi Min, son of Crown Prince Chengde and grandson of the Emperor Wei Yan overthrew. During a palace fire, Qi Min's mother deliberately burned her son's face so enemies could not recognize him, and swapped his identity with the real Yuan Hai, who died in the tragedy. Prince Changxin knew Qi Min was not his son, but kept him as a valuable asset, which is why he favored Yuan King, his true flesh and blood. By right, the throne belongs to Qi Min, not Wei Yan's puppet, and Qi Min sees his scheming as reclaiming what is his. But because his body is weak, he can only wait and drive his enemies to destroy one another. The servant reveals this out of fear that if the immoral Qi Min takes the throne, the people will suffer even more. After waiting for her chance, Madame Yu finally escapes and runs into Changyu, who is trying to rescue her. Once she is safe, Changyu meets General Jing Yuan, who reveals he was a close friend of her father's. Impressed by her heroic feats now spreading across the country, he presents armor made especially for her, believing she inherited her father's fighting spirit, and promises to tell her everything after the next battle. The rebel threat is not over. Zhejiang plans to strike the heart of Changxin's base, but that means abandoning his position at Lucheng with barely any defenses. The gamble is stark. Fail, and Lucheng falls. Keep holding out, and the war never ends. Changyu and Madame Yu decide to head home, but on the way, Changyu keeps turning over Tao's words about ending the war. She wants only a simple life, yet realizes that if Lucheng falls, there will be no safe place for the people she loves. While Zhejiang storms the enemy base, General Jing Yuan guards the gate of Lucheng from behind. Huaiyan helps defend the city and nearly dies, and that is when Changyu arrives with her friends. She knocks Huaiyan out so he will not push himself too far, then joins the front line, facing Yuan King while Zhejiang faces Prince Changxin. Changyu is a unique kind of fighter, carrying a pair of cleavers forged specially by Zhejiang, bringing the survival instincts of the market into war so the enemy cannot read her movements. When Yuan King tries to break into the city, Zhejiang stops him but fails to capture him. Then one of Changyu's friends is killed, and she flies into a rage against Prince Changxin. Overwhelmed at first by his strength, she does not give up, attacking without mercy the way she slices meat. The war against Prince Changxin ends, but General Jing Yuan falls defending Lucheng Fortress. Changyu is haunted by guilt, and Huaiyan, forced unconscious earlier, is shattered that he could not protect his teacher. Wounded, Huaiyan hands Changyu the general's final testament, which reveals that Changyu's father was a man named Qilin. In the eyes of the people, Qilin is the traitor who caused hundreds of thousands of deaths in the Jinzhou tragedy. In reality, Qilin was a victim. Wei Yan, who abandoned his duty, dumped the blame onto Qilin and forced him into hiding in Linan under a new identity. When Wei Yan began sniffing him out, Qilin begged Jingyuan to protect his two children. At the same time, Jingyuan received orders to eliminate them. Unable to do it, Changyu's parents chose to die instead, so Jingyuan would not be branded a traitor and could look the other way regarding their children. That protection held only until Wei Yan found them and sent his mysterious soldiers. Learning the truth, Changyu fears that if Qilin really was involved in the Jinzhou tragedy, then her father had a hand in the death of Xiezheng's parents. Sensing her fear, Xiezheng makes clear that whatever Qilin did has nothing to do with her, and that he will never leave her. Yuanqing, having escaped and learning his father has fallen, sinks into despair. But Qimin, still pretending to be his brother, stokes his fury to get him moving, telling him the one who killed his father was Changyu. Right after, Qimin kills Yuanqing's mother because she discovered his true identity. In the capital, Grand Tutor Li Xing sides with Qimin, believing he is the rightful heir. Huaiyan tries to make his grandfather see that Qimin is too cruel and power-hungry to deserve the throne, but Li Xing refuses to listen. Blinded by rage, Yuanqing attacks Xiezheng's base, only to lose and be captured. Inside the prison, Qimin's former servant comes to see him, reveals who Qimin truly is and what he did to Yuanqing's mother, then offers freedom on one condition: defeat Qimin, who killed his mother too. Yuanqing accepts and breaks out consumed by rage. This is all part of Xiezheng's plan to defeat Qimin by making the two destroy each other. The clash is unavoidable, but Yuanqing cannot beat Qimin, cunning and full of tricks despite his frail body. In his final moments, Yuanqing meets Niang, now on the run after her band was wiped out. She is heartbroken to hear he never had feelings for her, but for the sake of that unrequited love, she agrees to deliver a tiger seal to Changyu. The seal is crucial for the people at the palace on Xiezheng's side, the hope being they can stop Qimin's ambitions, and it stands as Yuanqing's final act of vengeance. To make Changyu trust Niang, Yuanqing offers his own head as a guarantee. Meanwhile, Huaiyan is trapped between family loyalty and conscience, forced to help Qimin seize the throne on his grandfather's orders, which leaves him ashamed to face Changyu, Xiezheng, and the other honest people at the palace. Amid the intrigue, Changyu receives official recognition from the emperor for her service, granted the title of flower-adorned general, and Yuan Bao and the others receive military posts. Changyu also learns the physician she once saved is the princess, and the young emperor is Qi Shu's own younger brother. As Changyu and Xiezheng grow more romantic, Qi Shu finally gets the green light from Sun Yin, who admits his feelings and proposes. She is thrilled and asks for an unusual dowry, the entire book collection in the Sun family library. In the capital, Song Yan has become a low-ranking clerk with a small salary and nowhere to call home. When he learns the ex-fiancé he cast aside is now a general, he is crushed. He runs into Xiezheng and scolds him for being a shameless husband riding on his wife's success. But once he learns Xiezheng's true identity, he is mentally devastated and loses all will to live. The young emperor keeps facing pressure from Wei Yan and Li Xing, both wanting to dominate the government, and he is terrified and unsure how to cope. At the same time, Li Xing discovers the key to breaking Wei Yan's dominance is to expose the truth behind the Jinzhou tragedy, especially regarding Qilin, the scapegoat. Madame Yu and her son live peacefully in a guarded residence, but Qimin tracks them down, and his worsening obsession drives him to chain Madame Yu so she stays at his side. Meanwhile, Xiezheng finally confronts Wei Yan at the family residence. It is a heavy moment, since for 17 years Wei Yan raised him. Xiezheng willingly endures a whipping to sever the ties of blood and gratitude, because only then can he stand against his uncle in vengeance. That night, Changyu comes to rescue her husband. Wei Yan refuses to acknowledge their marriage as legally valid, but Xiezheng insists a marriage certificate is just paper, and nothing is more sacred than two people vowing to love each other. Before his parents' grave, he introduces Changyu as his wife and swears to be faithful until death. The scene reminds Wei Yan of his own past. Behind his ruthless exterior, he once lost his true love, his heart run dry on someone long gone. which is why he never recognized the marriage with his current wife as love. The alliance of Min and Li Xing sets out to turn Wei Yan against Jie Zheng, deliberately letting the tiger seal fall into Changyu's hands without resistance, while Huaiyan is locked up by his grandfather for intending to disrupt their plan. Once she receives the seal from Niang, Changyu uncovers the truth. Qilin was innocent. The tiger seal is an official pass from the government. When the prime minister was tasked with sending aid to the crown prince, he abandoned it and handed the duty to Qilin. But the aid came with no direct order and had to be requested from Prince Changxun near the battlefield. To do that, Qilin needed the tiger seal as proof his request came from the empire. Unfortunately, the seal Wei Yan gave him was fake, so Prince Changxun refused. In the end, Qilin could not send reinforcements, and the Jinzhou tragedy occurred. At the same time, Wei Yan used the chaos to overthrow the former emperor and install the young emperor as his puppet. After learning this, Changyu lets Niang take Yuan King's head so it can be buried whole, a symbol of forgiveness, and offers Niang a new identity so she can start over as a livestock farmer. Changyu, once adored, is instantly reviled once people learn she is Qilin's daughter, but she is willing to be shamed as long as her parents' names are cleared. She strikes the drum of justice, filing a grievance with the emperor to reopen the Jinzhou tragedy. In a tense trial, Changyu proves the tiger seal her father carried was genuine. Wei Yan feigns ignorance and keeps covering up. But then Zhang finds an unexpected piece of evidence, a letter showing Wei Yan neglected his duty more than a decade ago simply to meet a certain woman. That letter was found by Zhang's mother, who realized her own brother was the reason her husband died. Heartbroken, and just like Changyu's parents, she chose to die to bury the political secret and protect her son from Wei Yan. Zhang happened to find the letter and brought it to the trial. Outside the palace, Min's alliance moves, using the excuse of a pure bloodline to overthrow the timid young emperor. Cornered and unable to defend himself, Wei Yan asks for one last chance to stop the rebellion, and he and Zhang agree to set their conflict aside. At the same time, Li Xing learns Min built his power with an enemy nation, a massive act of treason he cannot tolerate even while supporting the coup. Unable to accept it, he collapses. Min's plan to sow division fails, so he takes Wei Yan's wife and son hostage. Shockingly, Wei Yan does not care and lets the executioners kill them, but Zhang shoots the executioner to save them, and the battle begins. While the troops stop the coup, Zhang and Wei Yan duel to settle things. Inside the palace, Min hurts the young emperor and leaves him traumatized. Madame Yu, unable to bear Min's cruelty, decides to end her own life. Moments later, a volley of arrows flies at her. Min shields her but falls from the fortress wall, and Madame Yu, still bound to him, is dragged down too. Changyu arrives just in time. As Madame Yu hangs from the edge and asks to be let go, Changyu refuses. In that moment, Min finally realizes his obsession only brought ruin, and all his efforts to seize power and win her love must vanish. For the first time, he learns what love truly means, letting go of what was never meant to be his. He snaps his own arm free of the chain and drops himself to save her. The duel between Zhang and his uncle is intense. When Wei Yan falls, his men loose an arrow at Zhang, but Wei Yan's son suddenly shields him, in gratitude for Zhang saving his mother. Wei Yan admits his wrongdoing and is ready to be executed, but Zhang, calmed by Changyu, leaves him to the empire's law. After the turmoil settles, the last mystery unfolds. Wei Yan's wife, the silent Empress Dowager, and Grand Tutor Tao, who coaxed the truth from Wei Yan through the bars, all bear witness. It began when Wei Yan fell in love with a woman named Rong Yin, but the immoral former emperor took her as a concubine. Rong Yin grieved endlessly, unable to forget Wei Yan, which made the emperor jealous and eager to be rid of them both. Heartbroken and drunk, Wei Yan once let slip that the emperor ought to be overthrown. Li Xing overheard and was asked by the crown prince to stay quiet, but he told the emperor anyway, who then grew suspicious of his own crown prince and wanted him gone. When the crown prince and Zhang's father went to war, Wei Yan was tasked with sending aid. Then he received a plea for help from Rong Yin, really just an outpouring of her heart, never meant to be sent. The emperor found it and forwarded it to Wei Yan as a loyalty test, to see if he would send the aid or abandon his duty for a woman. Wei Yan chose to abandon his duty to save her, but he did not truly neglect the mission. He entrusted it to Qilin and gave him the genuine tiger seal. The cunning emperor had accounted for everything. Beforehand, he met Prince Changxin and asked him not to send reinforcements even when someone came to request them, promising him power in return. That is why Changxin claimed Qilin's seal was fake and refused. Meanwhile, Wei Yan failed to save Rongyin. The emperor set the palace ablaze to wipe out the crown prince's bloodline, and in that moment, the crown prince's wife, Qi Min's mother, burned her son's face and swapped his identity. Rongyin, still inside, refused to leave with Wei Yan and chose to die to keep their love pure so the emperor could never use her against him again. Wei Yan honored her choice, and it was then that he launched his coup. He believed only he could keep the nation stable, even with authoritarian methods, and he did not trust Li Xing, skilled only in theory, so he needed a puppet emperor he could control. He turned a blind eye to Qilin's injustice, all for the sake of the nation and the people. Prince Changxin, meanwhile, never got the power the former emperor promised, which made him bitter and drove him to seize the throne on his own. From then on, Wei Yan never truly married or had children. His current wife was only a palace maid, whose life he saved while she was pregnant with Wei Xuan during the turmoil, which is why she calls him master and why he never acknowledged Wei Xuan, who was never his blood. Zhejiang and Changyu finally understand. The one truly to blame for all this tragedy was the immoral former emperor. Qi Min, still alive in prison, must meet his end as punishment. Madame Yu comes to see him one last time with a poisoned cup. Knowing what it is, Qi Min asks her to feed it to him, then prays they will not meet in the next life, admitting he is too broken to deserve a second chance. After everything, the traumatized young emperor loses his sanity. Madame Yu is crowned Empress Dowager once Bao'er is made emperor. Zhejiang and Changyu receive imperial honors, placing them in high standing, able to help with government. Qilin's name is cleared, and everyone gets a satisfying ending. In a pure and innocent moment, little Bao'er, unwilling to lose Changning, asks her to marry him when they grow up, and they seal it with a pinky promise. Li Xing is spared execution after handing over his fortune and stepping down, and Huaiyan, atoning for his mistakes, chooses to live in exile far from the capital. Zhejiang visits his uncle in prison, keeping him company over a final meal before the execution, and Wei Yan regrets nothing and is proud of his nephew. The story ends when Changyu and Zhejiang return to Linan after settling their affairs. Near her home stands a great tree long believed to be a matchmaking tree, a symbol of the love that first brought them together. Changyu and Zhejiang live out their days in peace and happiness, right up until they are called back to the battlefield 5 years later to face an enemy attack. So the moral of the story is, rescuing a hot guy from the snow is somehow the fastest way to unlock hard mode.